Hey everybody, and you guys thought I was dead, long gone, never to be seen from again. Holy smokes, how long has it been since I've done a video? I haven't even gone to the YouTube website lately. It had to be at least 4 or 5 months since I put a video out. Oh, I've had a lot of people reach out and contact me on YouTube, the Google message thing. I don't know how that works. I can't even log into it on my phone, so I see those messages, and then a lot of people on Instagram, a couple by email. So I am actually alive. I'm actually out here, and I'm going to try to put up a video. And you know my videos, if you've followed me for any length of time, there's no way it can be short. So I'm sitting out here enjoying what have I got? A Auora 107. These aren't bad little cigars for just being a little cheap cigar. So these would be a good little everyday smoke. I kind of like these guys. And that's my whole review on it right there. You know how I do my reviews. I don't know whether you can hear Buster there in the background. I got his leash on, tied to the rail there so he can't go too far, but man, I have been working like crazy. Speaking of Buster, I've been working like a dog. And so, first off, I have had thank you for everybody who's been wondering about me, who's contacted me or sent whatever emails or messages on Instagram or YouTube or Google or however all that junk works. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I still am out here. I am still alive. Thank you for all of my new subscribers, which is still unbelievable. I haven't put a video up in, again, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. I don't know. I'll have to get on to YouTube, try to catch up today. There's no way I can catch up, but maybe I can see what's been happening in the past week. And so thank you for all of my new subscribers out there. As soon as I get on a computer, I'm doing all this on my phone. I'm going to try to do it via the YouTube Capture app, so there will be no editing or nothing like that. You get the outtakes, you get everything on there. And I'm not even sure what I covered in my last video. So this is my first time home since I think I left on January 2nd or January 3rd. And now I don't even know what today is, April 20 something. We're towards the end of April. And so I was out there 14 or 15 weeks before I started this new job. If any of you have been following, you know I started a new job doing railroad track maintenance out on the railroad back in October. So I worked from like October I can't remember when, the 3rd or 4th, all the way through like December 22nd or 23rd. Then I went home and then back out again on January it was either 2nd or 3rd, and then now back home again after 14 weeks. 14 or 15, I don't know, anyway. And we do track maintenance for the fuels and I don't know whether I covered this or not. Man, it's been so long, I don't even know what I've talked about before. We do track maintenance. We grind the rail. So I refer to that as kind of like we reshape the rail. We resurface the rail, kind of like a highway crew does on the highway. A road construction crew, we do the same thing on the railroad. So we've got these big grinding wheels. We got a train full of like these, they're like about 10 inches around. And there's 120 of these grinding stones. They come down on the rail. They go different angles to, reshape it. Smooth it out, take the micro cracks out of the top of the rail, so help prevent derails, make sure that flange on the wheel has enough contact. The trains get a lot better fuel economy once we grind it. And my train runs from LA to Chicago back and forth all year long. We've got machines all over the US, actually all over the world, and like we've got a machine, it's all they do is the coal loop up in like North Dakota, Montana, Wyoming. They go close to Chicago. I don't know how far over they go, but it's all they do is that one coal loop all year long, as many times as they can. We do the same thing, only we're going from Chicago and LA back and forth. We got machines that go, across from the bottom of California, across the bottom through Texas all the way, and then turn back and go that route. And so Sometimes we're grinding everything. Sometimes we grind just the curves. Sometimes, I mean, we're on this track and we'll go on this track on the way. We'll come over to this track on the way back. And so anyway, we're typically in a different town, different hotel, sometimes every night, depending on what we're grinding. I'm watching the pooch out there, see how far he's getting away, what he's getting into. And so sometimes we're in the same hotel for 2, maybe 3 nights before we move on. And so I was working. Our machine grinds at night. One, it's a lot easier to see fires. Number 2, it's cooler. We hope there's a little bit more humidity, so we start less fires. We typically start fires all night long, every night, and so we've got enough water and everything to take care of it. We got water trucks that follow us behind on the rail to put it out. We carry 50,000 gallons of water on the train, and firefighters to help put fires out as we go along. So anyway, I was working on the train at night, just doing manual labor, very dirty, very physical manual labor. Then I did that for about 4 months. Then I went to a maintenance crew where we work during the day, where we take care of the machine. We replace parts, replace motors, wiring, I mean, whatever. And then, keep the machine running. And then I only did that for about a month, a little less than a month, 3.5 weeks, 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, something like that. Now I'm doing, for the past few months, I've been doing what they call a field clerk. And I refer to what we call a field clerk is kind of like what Radar O'Reilly was to MASH 4077. He was a company clerk. And so I do everything in order to keep that train and that crew moving back and forth across the country, across the rails. And that involves anything and everything as far as like ordering fuel, making sure we got fuel to keep going, oil for the engines. I mean, we could easily go through 50 gallons of oil a week on there. We'll go through probably, I don't know, depending on what we're doing, how heavy we're running the machine, 10 to 15,000 gallons of fuel a week. And so I make sure we have parts so that if a part needs to be replaced, if we're replacing an engine, scheduling engine replacements and cranes and forklifts and all the technicians to come and do that. And so making sure that the crew has hotels to stay in. I do a lot of admin work, which is kind of up my alley now. A lot of reports as far as where we've been, what we're doing, where we're going, what ground we've covered, making sure hotels get paid, making sure bills get paid, making sure vendors get paid, a lot of expense reports, a lot of, numbers. Excuse me while I enjoy a cigar. And so this is the first cigar I've had I had one the other day, but these have been the first 2 cigars I've had in a while. Okay, hold on. Buster's gonna bark at a dog walking down. And there's no way I'm gonna stop him, so hopefully you can hear me. He's not gonna go anywhere. He wants to go see that other dog. So anyway, and typically our work schedule on average is anywhere between 80, we average probably 80 hours a week. On a slow week, we'll be doing 70 hours. There for a while, I worked like 22 or 23 days without a day off. I was getting well over 100 hours a week. And so, which makes for good paychecks, but it leaves you little time for anything else. And so now when I'm out on the road, I take a couple of pipes, and he wants to see that other puppy. I do take a couple of pipes and pipe tobacco. I don't take cigars just because I don't want to try to keep them humidified and everything. I can take either a pouch or a little tin of pipe tobacco and put a humidifying disc in it, and I'm taken care of. And even then, I don't have a lot of time for a pipe. But typically, we're running 6 days a week. Most of the time, we'll have a Sunday off, the 7th day. Now, because I'm the field clerk, I only work, on my day off, I only work like 5 or 6 hours. My day consists of typically getting up at about 3:15. Sometimes we're between 3:15 to 3:30 in the morning, depending on how tired I am. So I can get up and get ready, get my gear on, and then the train that's grinding out overnight, I got to call them. Hopefully they're in where they got cell signal. I got to find out where they're going to park that train. And then they'll tell me a location or a milepost. I'll get my railroad map out, look at a milepost, find out exactly where they are, how long it's going to take. I got to get the maintenance crew to that machine. So I got to figure how long it's going to take us to get there, so I know when we need to leave the hotel in the morning. And how far did they make it far enough in advance of us where we're going to pack up and move to the next hotel to try to stay ahead of the machine and let them keep catching up to us. And so a lot of times, you know, I can pinpoint exactly where they are because I know the track, I know the milepost, but there's not a road getting there. So now I got to pull up a map on my computer, on a phone, pull up the satellite, and try to find where these little dirt trails and little tracks are to get in there to them to swap the crews out. So then I start waking the maintenance crew up, tell them, hey, we're leaving at whatever time. You know, 4:30 in the morning, pack your bags, we're moving to a new hotel. Get them all up and ready, and then we head out to where the train is and where they're going to park, and sometimes it's in a different spot. And on the way out there, it may take us an hour to get out there. After driving 30 minutes, they may call us and say, okay, we can't park there, there's something else on the track, we can't fit in that track, we're going ahead, we're going back. And so then we start the process over, try to figure out where they're going to be. And then I get the operation crew that just worked overnight, get them back to their hotel. Then I head back out to the train. First thing I do, how much fuel do we need? And then I get fuel on order, and hopefully there's somebody within delivery range that delivers fuel. And most of the time there is. There's been a couple times where I've had to skip and go the next day, and that's scary. You do not want to run out of fuel out of it. Typically we can run a full 2 days. Let me get some of that ash off there before it lands on me. We can typically run a full 2 days. If we're doing, you know, just curves only, I can probably go 3 days without fuel. I don't like to do that. That gets a little bit too scary for me because I do not want to run out of fuel. And then I check, see what other supplies, what other parts, you know, nuts, bolts, check with the maintenance supervisor, see what he's going to need. Are they replacing any, you know, big grinding motors or anything? And then get supplies for the machine, make sure they're running. You know, go like field mail coming from the office. I got to schedule that. I got to guess what hotel we're going to be at in 2 days in advance and have it shipped there. Then a lot of times it's not there, or we bypass it, or we don't catch it, or we don't catch up to it. So I got to go forward or back a few hours to go get our field mail. Freight deliveries coming in, we got to do the same thing. Freight deliveries, we try to schedule a week out. If we have like grinding stones, I mean, we'll get, you know, 80,000 pounds of grinding stones on a flatbed truck. Well, I got to tell them where to deliver it, and hopefully we're within, you know, not too far of a distance, but sometimes they've had to drive 8, 10, 12 hours just because of where we are. Sometimes we're like, just before I left, we were grinding on a line where there was a steel, what they call a steel gang, where they're working on they're welding or replacing rail, or I mean doing whatever they're doing. They had an 8-hour window to work during the day. Well, trains can't run on that line during that 8 hours. When that window's open, or when they're done, then trains can run on that line. Well, now we try to get out there. We're grinding at anywhere between 12 to 15 miles an hour. We're slowing traffic down. And then we got to get off, let trains go, get back on, start working, get off, let trains. Finally, they said, get out of here, get off the territory, get off our subdivision. So we just picked up and ran down the rail, you know, at 50, 60 miles an hour till we were several hundred miles ahead of that steel gang, and we'll just catch that on the way back. Well, now that throws all my deliveries off because we weren't expecting that. And so that puts a lot of driving. So on average, I would drive anywhere between, you know, 3,000 to 4,000 miles a week just running back and forth, making hotel runs, mail runs, parts runs, freight runs. So I stay pretty busy. Now on my day off, which would be Sunday during the day, the maintenance crew, they can sleep in and then get up and do whatever they want to do during the day. I still have to get up at 3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, call, find out where they're going to park, because the operations crew's been operating all night Saturday night, because it's not their day off until Sunday night. So I got to get up, find out where they're going to be, run out there, go pick them up. And then when we shut the machine down, we lock everything up. We padlock all the doors, everything, just so nobody, because we have to leave an engine running. So that way we got air compressor, so we got brakes. And then, but we still, you know, set all the hand brakes, all the wheel chocks and everything in case we do lose an engine and we lose brakes. We got an emergency brake, so to speak. And so I help them do all of that, get them back to the hotel, and typically that's anywhere between a 4 to 6 hour process on a Sunday morning. Then my Sunday is done. And so then Sunday is the day you sleep in and do laundry. So then typically I'll go do laundry first thing, and then I'll go to bed. I'll either take a nap Sunday afternoon and then go to bed about 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. Because most of the time when the maintenance shift is done, I'll run ahead, pick up the ops crew, get them back to the machine, get them back to the train. We'll do a briefing. I mean, we'll have safety briefings and job briefings all day long. Better watch my cigar. It's gonna end up not burning right. And then by the time I get the ops crew or the maintenance crew back to the hotel and grab a quick bite to eat, it's somewhere between 8 and 9 o'clock. So by the time I finally get to bed and then get back up at 3, I'm not getting a whole lot of sleep, which is why you haven't seen me on YouTube, and which is why I have not been watching any YouTube. So I don't know what's going on. I don't even know who's out there anymore. So anyway, just thought I'd try to do a quick catch-up. You know how my quick catch-ups are. I'll try to do another video. I go back. Today is Tuesday afternoon. I go back. I fly back out on Sunday, and then we start over. And typically our rotation will be about every 6 weeks. The guys are out there 6 weeks, then they go home for 2 weeks, and they're back for 6 weeks. That has not been the case with me. And so we've had the past like 3 field clerks they have had before me. It's like whenever I was not field clerking and I was working on the machine, when I was working, maybe don't tell that to the guys. When I was not working on the machine, or when I was working on the machine, I would see these field clerks. They would have time for breakfast. They'd be always eating lunch. Oh, I got to go run by the post office and do this or whatever. It's like, man, everybody wants to be a field clerk. Now, once I started doing field clerk, it's like, I don't know how they had time to do all that. Well, it's because they weren't doing their job. Stuff wasn't getting done. They would get fuel. They would get like oil. They would get freight on the way, but that was it. And so, like, almost every week we're either taking a fuel sample, an oil sample, a coolant sample, and sending it off to a laboratory, gets analyzed, and then that's how we know when to schedule oil changes, or, you know, scrub fuel tanks, or coolant changes, or, you know, whatever. And so, like, we're getting ready here in the next couple of weeks. We got to have some new wheels and axles, so I'll have to be, as soon as I get back, that's probably going to be the first thing on my plate. We'll be over. BNSF's got a wheel shop in Barstow, California. So I'll have to schedule with them, because we're right now, the machine, I just checked this morning, the machine's like in between Flagstaff and Kingman, Arizona is where they are now. So I'll probably have to start working on getting the wheels scheduled. So anyway, that's what my day consists of. So now that I've gone for a whole 20 minutes, I want to shut this thing off. I'm going to see how long it takes to get uploaded. Oh, and in the process, I'm moving. So moving into what I think is a teeny tiny apartment. Because when you go from a house to an apartment, holy cow, I'm throwing everything away, donating everything, getting rid of everything. I don't have room for anything over here. So we're moving. I just got internet installed, so we'll see how it works. See whether this is going to be a 2-hour upload or a 2-minute upload. I have a feeling it's going to be longer than 2 minutes. So anyway, I'm going to upload this. Right now I'm waiting on a furniture delivery. We had to buy some new furniture because all the furniture we had in the house was way too big for in here. So we gave all that away. I got some new furniture, which we needed new furniture anyway. And so we had a nightstand. We got a new bedroom set. Look at this. I'm at over 20 minutes now and I keep going. Shut it off and go away whenever you're ready. But we got a new living room set and a new bedroom set. So they opened the truck and like a rocket, the nightstand comes flying out onto the pavement. I'm glad nobody was standing in the way. So they're supposed to be re-delivering the nightstand today. And then we got one end table that they were supposed to deliver with the living room set that they were out of. So they're going to deliver one end table tomorrow. Well, can I just not go by your warehouse and pick it up? No, we've already got it scheduled for delivery. Okay, whatever. So anyway, they give you a 2-hour window, which was supposed to be between like 4 and 6 this evening. Then they called and say, well, now it's going to be between whatever 1 and 3. And of course now we're almost to the end of that. So that's what I'm out here doing, waiting on. Got all these maintenance guys walking around this apartment complex. And it's been, you know, my wife and I first got married, we moved into an apartment complex. We lived in an apartment for probably, look at this, I just keep going. You know how I am. Shut it off already. Stop. Just stop. And so my wife and I lived in an apartment complex for about 3 years before we got our first house. This is the first time I'm back in an apartment complex, but I thought, as much as I'm gone, I don't want to have to hire somebody to take care of the lawn. Anytime anything goes wrong in the house, I don't want to have to call and hire somebody or leave that to my wife to come fix a water heater. Speaking of that, I got to take this one apart and get inside and make some adjustments. And heating or air, or because a lot of times, you know, you may have a fuse or a capacitor, one of those starters go out on a compressor. Well, you call somebody, it's, who knows, $150, $200 to come do that. I go down to a hardware store, buy one for $5, $10 and put it in myself. So that's, we both kind of agreed we'll move into an apartment. That way there's a lot less to take care of. We got a drippy faucet, call maintenance, have them come fix it rather than it being dripping until I can get home to put a new washer or whatever in there. So anyway, 23 minutes. I am really quitting this time. So guys, hey, man, I miss you guys. I miss seeing everybody. So I'm going to try to catch up on a bunch of videos. I know there's been some comments, because every time somebody comments on one of my old videos, it'll pop up with an email. But I haven't, I don't know. I guess I've got to sit down and figure out how to do that on my phone. But anyway, that's it, guys. I'm out of here. Catch you guys later. I don't know how many's left here at 23.5 minutes, but we'll catch you later, and I'll do another video before I go out. See ya.